Hey everybody, I'm Nat B. This is Evolution of a Mom, and I'm kind of frustrated right now because I just shot my video about Invisalign, and I went to watch it and realized that there's no volume. So I'm starting again. It is May, and it is a beautiful May. Family workout. As you might know, I'm super into finding ways to grow as a mother, as a person, as a wife. I want to evolve. One of the ways that I'm doing that is through Invisalign. And to give you a little background, when I was younger, I never really had the best looking teeth. Um, and I'm sure at some point in time, my dentist told my mom, your daughter's going to need braces. But with five of us all together, and my mom being a single mom, and all of us actually probably needing braces, it wasn't possible for my mom at the time. And so I can only imagine the strain it would be to put braces on five girls. So that opportunity was missed for me. And then growing up and as an adult, I went straight from basically being a teenager. I was 19 when I met my husband and his daughter, and I became an instant mom of a 3-year-old, and that was tough in itself. And then I had my two kids, and as a parent, you know that when you have your kids, they become the most important thing, and you get put on the back burner. And I think for me, I may have been facing a bit of postpartum depression as well. And so with a 1-year-old, a newborn, and a 7-year-old to take care of, my well-being, my oral hygiene was the least of my concern, as weird as that might sound. But when you are facing depression of any kind, it is a chore just to get up out of bed. Never mind getting up out of bed to take care of your kids, making sure they have breakfast and lunch and dinner, and they get to school on time, and diapers are changed. So, yeah, my oral hygiene was not the best. And actually, when I was pregnant with my second child, I ended up having to go see an oral surgeon because my rear molar was so deteriorated that it needed to be pulled. And I remember being at the dental office, and I think I was like 8 months pregnant. And I'm laying there, and the dentist leaning over me, and he's got his tools in my mouth, and he's yanking and yanking. And as he's yanking, I'm hearing it crack and pop, and it was not the best experience. And so that was my first experience with having my tooth pulled. And then as the years progressed and my oral hygiene declined and got worse, I had to have more teeth pulled, and I think in total, and a ridiculous amount of cavities filled. So over the course of 10 years, I'd say, I had 3 teeth pulled. I can't even count how many cavities, and a root canal. Now, if you've ever had a root canal, you know that they suck. I mean, and for me, I don't numb very well, so they would pump me full of medicine, and I would still be feeling it. And they're like, "Well, we can't give you any more," and so they continued as it was, and they were yanking and I felt everything. It sucked. So about a year and a half ago now, I went to lunch with my coworkers for a goodbye lunch for somebody that was leaving. And I bit down into my wrap, and there's nothing crunchy in this wrap. And my tooth broke. And I was so embarrassed. I went to the bathroom, and I actually pulled the tooth out of my piece of tooth out of my mouth, um, and I remember folding up in some paper and walking back to the table and saying, you know, I'm not going to eat anymore. I'm not hungry anymore. And it was so embarrassing. And then I eventually had to tell my manager that I had broke my tooth and I have like a line of dental appointments that I need to go to in order to get it fixed. So I went to see the dentist, and the dentist is just like, look, you've got cavities, you've got a cleanings you need to get caught up with, and other things that need to be taken care of before this tooth gets looked at, because they're going to get worse. And at that time, the broken tooth was broken, yes, but it wasn't horribly infected or anything like that. So I did all of that, and I got my teeth cleaned, cavities filled, and it took almost a year to get around to it. But by the time I got to the broken tooth, I needed to have a root canal again. I was not happy about it. I was pregnant, and so they weren't able to do the root canal, I think. Anyway, I had the root canal done, and at that point I kind of said enough is enough. I can't keep putting myself last and end up with no teeth. Actually, I think when the dentist told me that I had the option of either pulling the tooth or getting a root canal, I went to the car and I cried, and I cried and I cried because I don't want to lose my teeth. And I guess because I was also pregnant, so it made a difference in my emotional state. But anyway, I had the root canal done, and I said enough is enough. And because of all the missing teeth that I have, like I had this one, I don't know if you can see here, is missing. And the molars on this side are missing. On this side, the molars on this side are missing. So because of that, like my teeth are just going everywhere. Like there's gaps here and like shifting, and you can't see it in my top row, but I definitely have a pretty big gap in the middle. And then, so I wanted to take care of all that. And to do that, I needed to see an orthodontist. And I went to see the orthodontist, and they prescribed me Invisalign. And so that brings us up to a month ago. And so, well, you go in for your first appointment, and they mold your teeth with clay, and they make a mold and send it off to Invisalign, and they create these plastic aligners. And it's basically a series of these trays that adjust your teeth like a millimeter or a few millimeters at a time, and until they're straight. And so for me, I have a 10-month prescription. So a month ago, I got my first set of aligners. You basically wear your trays for 2 weeks at a time, and then you switch them out for the next aligner. If your teeth are tracking properly is what they call it. If they're moving along with the aligners properly, they may cut you down to 10 days, and then you can switch out your aligners. So for me, I am on my third set of trays. I changed the tray last night. Sorry. One of the rules for Invisalign is that you have to remove them anytime you eat. And so it basically cuts out snacking, because to take them out and put them back in and take them out and put them back in every couple of hours, it's really frustrating. Not to mention, it's actually kind of gross. Like when you take them out, there's like these strings of spit attached to your teeth and then attached to the tray. It's really gross. And so I refuse to take them out on camera. Don't ask. That's probably the most frustrating part, is having to take them out. And like if you're at a restaurant, you got to excuse yourself to the bathroom and rinse them off, and take them out and rinse them off, and then go back to the bathroom when you're done eating and rinse them off and put them back in. And then you're supposed to brush your teeth after each meal because the food particles and the sugar and whatever sitting on your teeth can kind of cause the aligner not to be on properly. And then the aligners also hold the sugar on your teeth. So there's constantly brushing your teeth. So now my oral hygiene is 10 times better than it was. My thoughts on Invisalign for the first month wasn't so bad, except for the first week. The first week was pretty painful. Getting my teeth starting to move was pretty painful. I felt like I couldn't eat very much at all because it hurt. Like your teeth are. Have you ever bumped your tooth on your glass? That pain times 10. That's the kind of pain that I was feeling in the first week. So that really sucked. And then one of the other negative things about Invisalign is probably the lisp that you end up having. They say it goes away after a couple of weeks, but I still find that sometimes, depending on the sound that I'm trying to make, I still have kind of a lisp. And I feel like when I have the aligners in, my mouth moves differently than when I don't. So there's that. But other than that, I think Invisalign is pretty good. I'm not the type of person. I couldn't envision myself with metal braces on. And I mean, I know a few adults who have them, and to me, it just seems really odd. So I definitely went with Invisalign, although my orthodontist told me that as far as the pricing goes, they are the same amount. Time frame would probably be about the same, so it was more a preference of which one I wanted. I'm going to put up a picture right here so you can see my before when I started Invisalign. It's the one that they took when they did the molding. And then I will add a photo right next to it or underneath it so you can see the progress I've made so far. So I'll be doing more updates on my progress. I won't be doing a monthly update, but I will be doing one for my 3-month, my 7-month, and my 10-month, my final update for you guys. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Yeah, so till the next one.